So welcome back to another video, legends, and today we're going to check out a cool little camera car that a good friend of the channel, Dave, printed off Thingiverse. We've adapted it to suit a Carrera car. It was meant for a Carrera car, but not the one that it's on. And let's have a look at it while I'm talking. Here is this little guy. It's a pretty cool concept. I will show you the original print, what I've done to this one to make it suit. It's not how it's meant to be, but it works for us. And we'll probably try and do a version 2, 3, 4, or 5 to get this going really well. My advice before we get into the video, if you are going to attempt something like this, choose a dedicated car that you're happy to lose, I guess, forever, and adapt it to suit that car only. This is just a test run for me. We will talk about the camera that's on top. Really good camera, happy with that. And of course, it's for the tracks. We've got an analog track and we've got a digital track. So enough of me talking, let's have a look at one of the prints. I'll show you some B-roll of it being printed. It is from Thingiverse, but let's get stuck into it. You're going to need a donor car, and we've gone with an incredible Carrera BMW. Now, unfortunately, this isn't the right car for the GoPro adapter, and I will keep using the word GoPro because you'll see why in a tick. But this one we have modified to make work. It does hold together. It's just, unfortunately, the supports aren't the right one. So when you are printing one of these adapter plates off to put a camera on your slot car, make sure it's the right chassis, or if you can modify, if you're that good, which we're going to try and do that, modify it to suit your donor car. Beautiful car, it's Carrera. That's going to be our donor car for today. But now let's have a quick look at the print itself. Here is your GoPro chassis adapter to run a camera on top. The reason I'm saying GoPro, because part of the print is this little guy here, which slips over the top, and I'll show you fully in a tick, but that will then hold your GoPro on top. It situates on the side. You can see some little screw holes here, and a nice little job. Unfortunately, and by choice, I don't use a GoPro. I use an Action 3 DJI. This is a really good, I would say, budget entry. If you want to look at a camera, this will be very similar to the 11 or 12 GoPro. Really good camera. You'll see some footage during the video of this in action. So we've gone with this one. So we had to alter this guy to suit the car and to suit the camera. And this is what we have done. Let me bring in my little guy. As you can see, we have lost some parts, and I'll turn it on the side. We have lost some parts because the chassis that is required for the Thingiverse print has a section for the rails to actually sit over the car itself, and I'll show you this. It's meant to slip in nicely, line up with all the bolts, and unfortunately this isn't the right chassis. So I've gone ahead and cut away these side plates, which I'll bring this one in. You can see here, we are missing the side plates. If I've got it the right way around, which I think I haven't, let's spin it around. They line up nicely, and there you go. It will sit nice and flush. Now the only issue with this one is our rear screws just don't line up because it's not the right chassis, but it's enough to get this on. So we've modified it to work, and that's probably the part of this video. You don't need the exact car for it. As long as it works and it's safe, it's good to go. So let's move him out the way. Now I'm going to show you what else I've done. I've gone out and got some of these, I guess you'll call them rubber, would you call them zip ties or rubber ties? Rubber zip ties to hold our camera onto the car itself so it doesn't fall off, because we can't use this guy. It's too small. The camera is a bit too wide for that. So yes, in the perfect world, we'll use the right camera, but we've made this work. So now let's put the chassis and car together and we'll see what it looks like. So now let's take a look at how it looks. Don't look too close because it's not meant to be the way it is. Now, it does sit on a bit of an angle. It is quite heavy, so you're not going to be able to fly around the track with this. Ideally, I would like to make it so it's as small as this adapter can be, so I can literally drive this like a normal car, but it will get the job done. Around to the back, you can see it won't fit the chassis adapter on properly. The screws won't line up. The fronts are perfect, but the rear needs some work. But for me, to get the job done, this is great. Now, these little rubber zip ties do hold it on really well. Again, you don't want to fly this thing around the car. You are trying to capture some action, so I'm happy with that at the moment. But in the ideal world, we would have the beautiful chassis in place with the support rails, which will keep it nice and level, and we would have the adapter plate on top so nothing happens. But again, we're not trying to race this around the track. So there is the camera car, but let's put it around the track and see how this performs on the Carrera Digital and the analog track. So here it is on track, and I think it looks pretty cool. What do you guys think? We've still got the running lights front and rear, and being digital car, we do have running lights. And I did put another Carrera car on track just to show you the difference. So we'll bring him in just so you can see how different it is. And it is going to be a lot heavier than the AMG, but I think it's going to get the job done. So now let's put some cars on track. I'm going to run 5 ghost cars and let this guy run around and see what we can pick up, just to see the footage. But hey, I think it looks good. So it's time to do some digital testing.
So that's a wrap on this, can we call it Slot Car FPV video. Really happy how it turned out. Lots of changes to be made. I'm actually going to try and change it so I don't need to run this chassis adapter at all. It'd be good just to have the camera to keep the weight down so we can go faster. The Action 3 by DJI, it gets the job done. Yes, there is better cameras out there, but for $260, I'm very happy with it. There is a reason behind this video. I am working on a Carrera project at the moment. You will see some more FPV footage when it comes to the slot car world because I love it. I think it's a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun on the wood routed track as well. Yes, non-digital, so you're only going to have 3 cars going, but you can see how it works on a digital track. Awesome stuff. So stay tuned. Carrera project in the works. This should look a lot different in the future, but we are done.